Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Omar. Tonight, EFCC continues cleanup of polity, arraigns former Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Adeshola Mosun and 10 others. Nigeria Labour Congress takes on employers in the banking sector, condemns what it calls mass sack by banks management. British High Commissioner allays fears of extreme impact of Brexit to Nigeria. And death toll in the Turkish Istanbul airport attack rises to 41. World leaders condemn attack.
And on Business News tonight, Bureau de Change operators seek inclusion from the Central Bank of Nigeria in the new forex regime.
On Sports News tonight, Nigerian champions Enyimba walk a tightrope after stumbling to a second defeat in the 2016 CAF Champions League.
I'm Gloria Umezuke, and from Abuja, INEC announces plans to complete all suspended rerun elections nationwide.
We begin tonight with the efforts of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to cleanse the nation of persons who illegally acquired wealth and recovered stolen monies. The former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adeshola Mosun, has returned 2.6 billion naira to the federal government through the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC confirmed this fact to our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoele, today after his arraignment before a federal high court sitting in Lagos State. He was arraigned alongside Air Vice Marshal Jacob Adigun, Air Commodore Gbadebo Olugbenga, and 7 companies.
The former Chief of Air Staff is standing trial alongside Air Vice Marshal Jacob Adigun, Air Commodore Gbadebo Olugbenga, and 7 companies allegedly used by them to conceal and convert monies belonging to the Nigerian Air Force. They were all arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission before Justice Mohammed Idris of the Federal High Court in Lagos. Though the defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges, there are indications that a plea bargain may be in the offing. The first hint of this was given by the EFCC, who did not oppose the bail applications of the defendants. The prosecuting counsel, Rotimi Oyedepo, simply asked the court to grant bail on conditions that will compel the defendants to come to court to face the charges against them. The lawyers for the defense, however, told the court to grant the defendants bail on self-recognizance or in the alternative on liberal terms. The lawyers pointed to the fact that the defendants have been cooperating with the anti-graft agency and have returned certain sums of monies and assets back to the federal government through the agency. Channels Television specifically gathered that after being confronted with the charges, the former Chief of Air Staff promised to return 4 billion naira to the EFCC, out of which he has remitted 2.6 billion naira. The Commission has also disclosed that assets recovered from the second defendant, Air Vice Marshal Jacob Adigun, is in the region of about 30 billion naira. There are also indications that the defendants are in talks with the anti-graft agency with a view to working out the plea bargain arrangements. Justice Mohammed Idris took into cognizance the cooperation among the parties and the fact that bail was not opposed. He granted the defendants bail in the sum of 500 million naira each, with 2 sureties each who must have landed property within the jurisdiction of the courts. The court registrar is to verify the documents of the property and to take custody of the travel documents of all the defendants. Before the bail conditions are perfected, the first and third defendants will be remanded in prison, while the second defendant, who has written to the EFCC about his health challenges, will remain in the custody of the Commission. The court has adjourned further proceedings till Friday, the 8th of July. Shola Shoele, Channels Television News.
The Bayelsa Governorship Election Tribunal is to deliver judgment on a date yet to be decided in the petition filed by the former governor of the state and flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress in the governorship elections, Mr. Timipriya Sylva. The chairman of the tribunal says that the date will be communicated 48 hours to the day it will be delivered. Mr. Sylva is challenging the election of Honorable Siraki Dixon as governor of Bayelsa State. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, reports.
After a 2-week recess, the Bayelsa Governorship Election Tribunal reconvened for parties to adopt their final written addresses. But before that, the tribunal allowed the petitioner's witness to play a DVD it had earlier turned down. This followed the judgment of the appeal court, ordering it to recall the witness to play the said DVD. Even though Governor Dixon had informed the tribunal through his lawyers that he had filed an appeal at the Supreme Court, the tribunal allowed the DVD to be played after parties agreed that playing it will not prejudice the said appeal. Done with that, all the parties in the suit adopted their final briefs of argument, while the petitioner, that is, Mr. Timipria Sylva, asked the tribunal to grant the reliefs sought in his petition and declare him duly elected. The three respondents, that is, the Independent National Electoral Commission, Governor Siriake Dixon, and his party, the People's Democratic Party, asked the tribunal to dismiss the petition for lack of substance and merit.
Eventually, the DVD was played because the defense has always contended that the election was not cancelled, it was postponed. And we have always contended that it was cancelled. And it was played to the view of everybody where the REC announced cancellation. We have always contended that there can't be cancellation on the 7th of what had happened on the 6th. So for us, it's a good outing, and we are very hopeful.
All the council have addressed the court on the petition. We've urged the court to dismiss the petition. They have urged the court to grant the petition. So it is now for the tribunal to look at all the evidence that have been adduced and also the arguments that we have put forward and take a decision one way or the other, and all of us will be bound.
Parties will now await judgment to know which side the pendulum will swing. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Yola today struck out the appeal of the governorship candidate, Mr. David Kante, against Governor of Taraba State Darius Ishaku. The petitioner had gone to the appeal court to challenge the eligibility of the Taraba State governor to contest the 2015 elections on the grounds that he did not contest the primaries. Mr. Kante, who was a PDP aspirant, contested the primaries in December 2014 and lost, and later decamped to the Social Democratic Party SDP to contest the same governorship elections in 2015. In her ruling, Justice Jummai Sanchi of the Appeal Court in Jos struck out the case, stating that Mr. Kante has no locus standi. In the meantime, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has adjourned the adoption of final witnesses addressed in the alleged extrajudicial killing of 6 apple traders to October the 11th. At the resumed hearing today, the First Defense Counsel, Mr. Ricky Tafa, applied for an extension of time to file and serve his final written addresses. The prosecuting counsel, Bamban Usman, did not oppose the application but asked the court to grant 21 days to the prosecution to file its reply. The presiding judge, Justice Ishaku Bello, granted the application of both counsels. The Attorney General of the Federation had in 2005 filed a 9-count charge bordering on conspiracy and culpable homicide against the 6 police officers. The controversy over the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, has continued as contradictory interpretations trail the judgment of the FCT High Court, which nullified the 2014 PDP Constitution Amendment. Today, Justice Valentine Ashi ruled that the amendment of the party's constitution is illegal and a violation of their electoral acts, and therefore declared all actions carried out with the document as illegal, including anybody parading himself or herself as officers of the party. While it is implied in some quarters that Senator Ali Modu Sharif has been sacked by the pronouncement of the FCT High Court, Senator Sharif has insisted that the judgment has no effect on his stance on the leadership of the party. Although the court did not specifically mention Senator Sharif's name, it made an order restraining all persons who became national officers of the party by virtue of the amended Article 47, Rule 6 of the party's constitution from further parading themselves in the said capacities. Meanwhile, Senator Sharif's camp in the PDP also today organized the governorship primaries in Edo State, in which Mr. Matthew Idori Yevin emerged as the candidate. This comes a few days after Mr. Osage Eze-Iyamo emerged as the candidate of the Senator Ahmed Mohammed Bakarfi faction.
On the 20th of June 2016, the lawn tennis court of the Samuel Ogbomudia Stadium in Benin City, the Edo State capital, hosted the Ahmed Makarfi faction of the People's Democratic Party governorship primary election to elect its candidates for the governorship poll come September 10, and that exercise produced a winner in the man Osage Izeyamo. 9 days later, at the same venue, delegates from the 18 local government areas of Edo State gather to elect yet another candidate, and this time the exercise is supervised by officers from Senator Ali Modusheri's faction. With every delegate seated, the chairman of the 8-man electoral panel, Ahmed Gulak, spells out the procedures to be adopted for the exercise.
We have accredited delegates 677. We don't expect the vote cast to be more than 677. We follow our constitution, we follow our guidelines.
But before the election proper, one of the aspirants announces his withdrawal.
I am going to step aside. I am going to resign to support my friend, my brother, Honorable Matthew Udoyekeme, for the governorship of Edo State.
And then voting commences. Collation takes place and the result announced shortly afterwards.
By the PDP Constitution and our guidelines 2014, I hereby declare him winner and is hereby returned elected as the PDP candidate for the Edo State governorship election September 2016.
Thereafter, the winner then makes his acceptance speech.
We are taking the government back to our people so that our people will be part of government once again. They will feel the direct impact of good governance with the PDP government coming on board 12th of November in Edo State.
In the face of the national leadership tussle in the PDP, the emergence of Matthew Udoyekeme as this group's Edo governorship candidate makes it evident that the Ali Modusheri's faction of the PDP is determined to pursue its ground as a genuine leadership of the People's Democratic Party.
The House of Representatives Committee on Interior believes Nigerian prison service needs more personnel to enhance security within its premises. The lawmakers say that there is also an urgent need to install CCTVs at strategic areas within prison facilities. The chairman of the committee, Representative Adams Jagaba, was speaking after the lawmakers embarked on an assessment tour. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports.
Lawmakers of the House of Representatives Committee on Interior arriving at the Kuje prison in the Federal Capital Territory. 4 days ago, 2 inmates of this prison were said to have escaped. The lawmakers are here to look into the matter. After being received by officials of the prison service, the lawmakers were taken into the facility and the media were not allowed in. A few minutes later, the exercise was over and the lawmakers walk out. Officials of the prison say an investigation is still being conducted on the matter.
We've explained that the investigation is going on, and whenever the investigation is completed, it will be made known to the general public.
The lawmakers say they have observed some lapses and they make some observations.
Even the staff that man our prisons are in shortfall. In fact, they are not half of the requirement we have in this country. And the government, as a matter of urgency, has to introduce CCTV cameras in our prisons, prison walls, prison cells, so that they can monitor whatever that is going on.
The chairman also touched on the issue of awaiting trial inmates.
The prisoners or people cannot be kept under remand or under awaiting trial for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. People waiting for awaiting trial. That's injustice on itself.
The House committee has called for a proper investigation that will recommend proper sanctions for any negligence discovered. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, we will be joining Abuja for a conversation with the head of the European Union delegation to Nigeria, Ambassador Michel Arion. Stay with us.